and welcome back to my channel. It's been some time since my last video because I was actually in Japan for some time, and while I was there I got a lot of really pretty fabric, so I'm really excited to make all kinds of things with them. And this is actually one of them which I'm going to use today, and I got this in Kyoto. I want to make a little lightweight jacket sort of thing inspired by Japanese kimonos. I want it to be something pretty that I can use in day-to-day life without being as fancy as an actual kimono. I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to that channel, and let's get started! I got 2 meters of this fabric, which was more than enough. They don't do yards in Japan, so for this video, it's gonna be in meters. The pattern is pretty simple because it's mostly just blocky shapes with many rectangles. I first cut out the front and back pieces, and to do that, I just measured out how wide I wanted it to be and how long I wanted it, and then added some seam allowance. This is the back piece, which was 61 by 64.5 centimeters. And these are the front pieces, and again, I just got these measurements by measuring myself, so you can just adjust them however you want. I pinned the front and back together at the shoulder points and sewed them right size together. Since the shoulder seams were cut on the selvage, I didn't need to finish the seams, which was pretty nice. Then I marked out 2 centimeters down from the top center of the back piece and cut the neckline curve so that it would fit nicer around the neck when worn. And this is how it looks. Then I cut out the sleeves, which was, like before, just a rectangle, and this one was 34 by 54.5 centimeters. And again, feel free to make it as big or as small as you want it. And here's what they looked like. So I folded the sleeves in half and marked the centers, which I matched up with the shoulder seams and sewed them together using a French seam. This fabric does tend to fray, and I wanted a nice clean finish. And in case you don't know what a French seam is, it is when fabric is sewn together wrong size together first, which then the seam allowance is cut short, and then the fabric is folded over right size together and sewn again in order to encase the raw edge. Once that was done, I could sew up the side seams. I pinned the bottom of the sleeves and the sides of the front and back pieces together, and I used French seams here as well. You can see the pinned portions here, which is where you want to sew. I also drew it out in red so it's easier to see. I didn't fancy how this neckline was looking right now, so I rounded it out so that there was no longer a defined corner. The final piece I needed was the collar. I measured all the way around the neckline of the top and added a few centimeters to that for the length, and for the width I made it 11 centimeters. It's just a super long rectangle which I then folded in half and ironed it down. I also sewed in my tag on the side that would end up being on the inside. I pinned the side of the collar that would end up on the inside to the wrong side of the cardigan, and I sewed all the way around before ironing the seam allowance towards the collar. And then I folded over the collar to the right side of the cardigan and folded under the raw edge. Then I just top stitched that down all the way around. Then I hemmed all the way around the bottom edge of the cardigan and around the sleeve hole. Now it's pretty much all done, but I wanted to add a little something extra, so I took some lace and placed it all the way around the neckline. And this is the finished piece. I really love how it turned out and how it's casual enough to be worn on a day-to-day basis while still being really pretty and representing my culture. I also think the lace complements the fabric really well, so I'm glad I decided to add it in. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and see you next time!